This is the Lightphone 3, a highly anticipated dumb phone from the company that brought us the Lightphone 2 that I actually used as a dad as the perfect secondary device to keep me unconnected from the internet. I loved using this thing, an e-paper, small, tiny little dumb phone that only does the bare essentials, but it did have some serious kind of struggles with this that made it super hard to use on a daily basis. Also, if I was only carrying this around, I would have to carry a secondary camera for those moments where I want to capture a memory. The Lightphone 2 also had a micro USB, which sounds like not that big of a deal, but it really is. When we live in a USB-C world, I was just itching for this thing to have USB-C. Well, we now have that with the new Lightphone 3, and I'm going to talk to you guys all about it as a previous Lightphone 2 user, as well as just review this and give you my first look and impression with it. Now, the first major change to this that I notice as a Lightphone 2 user is the fact that we don't have an e-paper display anymore. But Light has done a really good job giving us kind of the closest thing possible to that using a traditional OLED. Now, I've never seen anything like this before, but we're actually getting a matte display on the device here that gives it that very e-paper look, but we get the smoothness and the fluidity and the responsiveness of a modern touchscreen. Everything is black and white. You can invert the colors. I have it inverted here so you can see it really good in the daylight, but all the B-roll I have is in the black mode. I like the dark mode because it blends into the black design of the Lightphone really nicely. But it's not until you go into the camera mode that you start to realize that, oh, this isn't just a monochrome display, it's a full color display. It's just the UI has been designed to have this minimalistic, simple layout, all just black and white. I love this. I love the fact that I get the benefit of it being just like paper, as close as you can to e-paper, though I think when I look at the original Lightphone 2, I do kind of miss that e-paper display. There is something kind of magical about it. It really pops in the sunlight. It totally looks like real paper. And I also love the size. When I compared the two, I mean, this thing is so teeny tiny, which made it such a breeze and such a joy to kind of carry around all the time. This thing is a bit chunky, but for good reason. It's giving us a lot more, but I am noticing quite a difference between the two there. But what I love about Light is that they update the operating system so frequently. A lot of the things that I'm noticing here, I think are going to get changed with firmware. This is just the beginning. And Light has a philosophy that they're going to create a product and service it as long as possible. The Lightphone 2 is not going away. You can still buy these, and I believe that they'll continue to update the firmware on this. This is obviously the future of the company, the Lightphone 3, and I think they're onto something good here. But the software that we see here is part of the lightOS, and you can't download apps. There's no Google App Store. There's no way to get Spotify. There's no way to get YouTube on this device. This is totally locked down. And for somebody like me who has ADHD, who, you know, on an iPhone, yes, you could download those minimalistic apps. For me, I really need that separation. And what I also love about using a device like this is it just forces you to stay locked into the world around you. And this just makes it so much easier than this, the original. The Lightphone 3, because of its responsiveness, because of the touch screen, because of the advancements like a camera, I can now confidently come home from work, put my iPhone in the drawer, forward my number, by the way, with Verizon, you hit *73, and then you put in the number that you have set up for your Lightphone, which is what I have. I have two different phone numbers. I have my Lightphone number, and then I have my work phone number. There's a cardinal up there. Sorry about that. He's chirping away. And what I also do is I turn on the driving mode, the focus mode on my iPhone, and I have that send an automatic reply to my favorites list saying, David is not available right now. He's on his dumb phone, and then I put the number of my dumb phone there. So people like my family and friends who are in my favorites list on my iPhone, they get automatically sent this text message when I'm in dumb phone mode, reminding them that, you know, hey, I'm not at work anymore. This is not the device I'm using anymore. So for those emergency cases, I don't respond. But it's somewhat like you gotta like learn to just let go of the fact that you're gonna be missing some notifications. as a full-time freelance graphic designer and thumbnail artist, clients are emailing me all the time. People are trying to talk about work stuff all the time. And by basically just putting my phone in a drawer and just letting those notifications happen, I get to them in the morning, I can respond to them later, and I'm not being bothered by those notifications when I'm with my family, when I'm with my kids, when I'm with my wife. So that's the lifestyle that I like to live with a dumb phone like this, and that's why I did love using the Lightphone 2. But all the things that I'm seeing here with the new Lightphone, with the better touch screen that's much more responsive, with the fact that I've got a camera now so I don't have to carry around a separate camera, though I will say the camera is very slow to take photos. It has this weird mode where I hold the button down, it says hold, and it like, I don't know, it just has to process everything. I asked Joe about it, and his response was basically that it's just doing a lot of computation, trying to figure out the right exposure and the focusing, and then it takes it. You know, this is their first camera. This is the first time they've ever developed a camera app. I will say the colors look really good on this. The camera is a 50 megapixel sensor, but it's being binned down to 12 megapixels. I met Joe in a filmmaking forum, and I know he has an eye for filmmaking, for just beautiful film aesthetics, and I can definitely see that with the way they tuned the color science on this camera. I find it to be really pleasing and really nice. I mean, it's definitely not an iPhone. You know, iPhones now are just so insanely good at taking videos and photos. And if it really comes down to it, I'm trying to like film a moment of my kids that's really important, I'm gonna probably use my phone or a nicer camera. But for capturing moments and for even occasional video, I found the video to be really pleasing too. It's definitely good enough. All right, this is me testing the video on the Lightphone. There's no 4K on here, it's 1080p. There's no image stabilization enabled yet, though that will be coming, hopefully, with a firmware update. Here's an example of me walking with the camera. I'm trying to be as stable as possible. Not too bad. If you put this thing on a little gimbal, it wouldn't be too terrible, honestly. I'm gonna go into the YouTuber mode. Holding it at an arm's length. Is it wide enough? Is it too tight? I'm honestly quite impressed with the colors on this camera. I really like them. Hello, this is me testing the video mode on the Lightphone. I'm just holding it at an arm's length on the main camera. How's the audio sound? How's the video look? My hand is not perfectly still, but I'm trying to stay as still as possible. Can I focus on that? I'm trying to tap the screen. It's not focusing. There is no tap to focus. Maybe it's just a locked focus. I'm trying my best to walk as smooth as possible. This also includes a fingerprint scanner, which is really nice. The old one, I just never had a passcode on it because it was too finicky to like punch it in with the e-paper display. So having fingerprint reader on the top here makes it super useful. And we've got this interesting little dial. It reminds me of an Apple Watch digital crown on the side. It's clickable. Right now it's set to the display brightness to control that, but it's really useful and really nice. I would love to see that implemented in different ways and have more customization of that. I've also got a flashlight now that is enabled by pushing that digital crown button, so that's nice. And there's a selfie camera as well. It's not as good as the main camera like most cameras, but it is there, so you can take selfies with your friends, so that's great. We've got hotspot just like the old one, so if you have an unlimited plan, which are actually really cheap for devices like this, you can get an unlimited data plan with Verizon. I am using the Lightphone service, which I believe taps into AT&T's system, and right now it's just unlimited everything, and it's great. It's super cheap to get these. I think I was only paying $20 a month on top of my service fee to have the Lightphone on my plan as an additional line. It's similar to like an iPad. If you have iPad LTE chips with Verizon or AT&T, I think it's a similar price point. So you can talk to your carrier about it, but we've got 5G now on this, which is a huge upgrade from the original LTE. Is it gonna matter when you're dealing with such a simple device? You're not gonna be streaming videos, you're not gonna be watching Netflix on this thing. Well, you would argue, no, it doesn't matter, but it does for two reasons. First, compatibility. LTE is going to slowly phase itself out over time, and this future-proofs it. Even though this doesn't need 5G speeds all the time, it is the future of cellular technology. So this definitely future-proofs this device along with the USB-C port. But for things like directions, having really fast internet like the 5G is coming in clutch. You're able to trust this device as you're navigating around. I would sometimes carry around my iPhone even in my Lightphone time periods just to use it for GPS, because obviously Google Maps or Apple Maps is superior to what was on this device. This device really couldn't do any type of mapping. It was a nightmare. One of the interesting things too about the Lightphone is it's got these screw points on the back here where the battery is. That's because it's totally user replaceable battery, which again goes back to their core philosophy of this being a future-proof device. So you don't have to upgrade your phone every single year. That's part of the philosophy of this minimalist design and minimalist ideology. It gives it a really nice look in my opinion too. But you just unscrew the screws, get a new battery, replace it, screw it back in, you're done. Brand new battery, brand new phone essentially. I ordered a case, it's on its way. I would also probably want to get some sort of screen protector because these matte displays, though they're nice, are pretty fingerprinty. And if you do scratch them like I did here on my original Lightphone, it leaves this like residue scratch thing on it, which I really don't like, and it's just always there and I'm always looking at it. So the matte displays, when they do scratch, it just leaves a giant scratch there and it's really bad to look at. So, and there's a lot of people cutting grass right now, sorry about that. You can sync your calendar to it. I can only do one calendar at a time though, unfortunately, so I only have one calendar. I have like 5 different calendars that I use all the time, but again, that's not the point of this device. It's not a smartphone, even though it kind of is. You don't want to think of it as one. Their philosophy, again, is to keep things stripped down to the bare minimum, the things that don't distract you from the real world, including things like podcasts and music that you select and load onto it. That's how you listen to music. You have to download your old MP3s, rip from a CD or something. And then load it into the dashboard. And while I'm on the topic of dashboard, Lightphone's actual dashboard is phenomenal. It's how you access everything, and it's really detailed, and you can kind of do everything you need to do to set this thing up on the dashboard. So you go there, you download the apps, which they call tools. There's only a select few of them. You can't go on some sort of app store. It's not open, so people can't develop for it. But you download the apps that you want. You can even remove other apps. Like if you don't want podcasts, if you don't want music, you can remove it and have an even cleaner setup here. Just have phone camera directions or something. You can keep it really minimalistic however you like. And then you can order it however you want here. I've got 3 windows here, and it didn't take me long to kind of memorize how I had it set up here. Of course, you get calculator, alarm, timer, you know, those types of things that are just useful tools to have. So should you buy this? Well, if you're a fan of the original Lightphone or an owner of the original Lightphone and you still use it and you still like it, absolutely. This is the new device. This is the new Lightphone. This is the one to get, and it's probably going to last 5 to 10 years, just like they did with the original Lightphone. This phone came out several years ago. They kept updating it. Lightphone is really, really good at updating firmware and staying very active in the community. I've been really surprised by how they actually will just make a new feature and just add it, and it's amazing. They added calendars not too long ago. They added the directory recently where you could search for local businesses. They just are an amazing company, and I want to see them succeed. So if you're a fan of Lightphone, yes, you should get one. I think it's awesome. Compared to the original or the previous one, I hate to say it, but I do miss the e-paper display. I like e-paper. There's something very whimsical about it and fun. And it's really slow to type on. I definitely understand that. But if I could make one change, it would be that I wish that this had e-paper display on it, but all the other features stayed the same. I wish that was the case, because I don't know, it's just, there's something really fun and whimsical about the e-paper, but the Lightphone 2 is still there, it's still available, and it's still working. They're not like cutting support from it. But again, this is giving us so many more features. It's a chunky device. The battery life is nowhere near as good as the Lightphone 2 as well, so that's a bit of a downside, though I think that might come with more firmware updates. We might see better battery performance. I would imagine Joe will be working on that. I noticed that when the phone was in my bag, even for like a day or two, when it was turned off, the battery would drain even when I wasn't using it quite a bit. So just be aware of that. I still haven't really just like used this as my only device for a day. It's always been a secondary device, which is the way that I like to use this thing, because I'm so engaged with technology and I'm literally a YouTube thumbnail designer by trade. I'm talking to creators on Discord and a lot of people on iMessage. It would kind of mess up my whole workflow to switch primarily to this, at least for me. But like I told you, I love using this device as my main home dad device. I put the iPhone in the drawer, I switch it to the focus mode that automatically texts my favorites, hey, I'm using my dumb phone. I then use *73 to forward my iPhone phone number to this phone. So even friends or even clients, if they're in an emergency and they call me to my iPhone number, it will just automatically forward to this number and I can talk to them without them even realizing it. I just find this to be a great update. And again, I wish it was e-paper display, but I know there's limitations with that. So I'm willing to make that compromise. This is now, in my opinion, the best minimalist dumb phone that you can get on the market. I'll be doing some more testing and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. So let me know if you have any questions about the Lightphone 3 and I'll try to answer them in a future video or in the comments section. So thanks for watching this. I'm David Altizer. This is Ultra Maze and I'll see you next time.